The name Colonel Bello Fadile rang bells in the military circle in the mid-90s. He was a principal actor in what was widely regarded as the 1995 phantom coup against the Abacha government. Colonel Bello Fadile, as commonly called, can be described as a man of quick wit, unrivaled tenacity, and dogged perseverance. It would seem to the onlooker that it is these exceptional qualities that have enabled him to overcome difficult and sometimes seemingly hopeless situations and come out victorious. This no doubt formed the title and focus of his book, 9 Lives, which afforded him the opportunity to tell the whole story about his life, including how he cheated death several times. The date was 18th November 2024. All roads led to the historic Yaradua Center in the central area of Abuja, Nigeria. As expected, guests were majorly retired military officers, politicians, religious leaders, traditional rulers, former colleagues of the author, as well as family and friends from all walks of life, all led by the chairman of the occasion, former head of state and elder statesman, General Sani Abacha.
O Almighty and merciful God, we thank you for bringing us all of us here together in peace and harmony. We thank you for sparing the life of our brother, Colonel RSB Bello Fadile, retired, that is able to write this book with unusual content and style. The life of each one of us, O Lord, is in your hands, whether we like it, whether we know it or not. To each person, you have given a life, destiny, and mission. Blessed are those who know their life mission and destiny and pursue it with faith in you. As is through Christ our Lord.
With the opening prayer said by an apostle of peace, true prophet of our time, an advocate of justice, former Catholic Archbishop of Abuja Archdiocese, His Eminence John Cardinal Onayekon, the event thereafter commenced. Leading the speeches, the Chief Operating Officer of Premium Times Group, Musiliku Mojid, said the book 9 Lives no doubt chronicled a true soldier who gave his best for the country.
More importantly is the universality of some of the experiences chronicled by Dr. Bello Fadile in this narrative, which touches on some of the great themes of survival through the maelstroms of life, the capacity and determination to surmount hardships, and the role of faith in the ultimate triumph of the human spirit. These are aspects that speak to the essence of each and every one of us, making it the story of every man at one key level or the other.
Musikiliu Mojid said Premium Times books are on a mission to keep publishing books that continually deepen knowledge on important aspects of our lives and which continue to serve as crucial resources for engaging with our histories and experiences.
At Premium Times, we are on a mission to keep publishing books that continually deepen knowledge on the important aspects of our life, and which continue to serve as crucial resources for engaging with our histories and experiences. We intend to keep at this role, and we continue to offer our services to major documenters and interpreters of experience like Dr. Bello Fadile, as he does the unprecedented and embark on his 10th life.
According to Mujid, Colonel Bello Fadile's memoirs extend the frontiers of what we know about this country and the various actors in one of its most foremost institutions, the Nigerian army. and how their actions have defined the course of the nation's history at critical periods.
Certainly, Dr. Bello Fadile's 9 lives extends the frontiers of what we know about this country and the various actors in one of its most foremost institutions, the Nigerian Army, and how their actions have defined the course of the nation's history at critical periods.
The chairman of the occasion, former Nigeria head of state General Sani Abacha, said Colonel Bello Fadile, in the course of his military career, demonstrated remarkable dedication to the core values that define Nigeria's armed forces: loyalty, discipline, and sacrifice. The book, according to the elder statesman, shed light not only on the extraordinary challenges he faced, but also on the profound role the military plays in upholding democracy, securing peace, and defending the territorial integrity of Nigeria.
Outstanding work by retired General Bravery, a man whose life exemplifies the virtues of commitment, patriotism, and unyielding service to our nation, Nigeria.
General Salami further stated that Nigeria at this moment faces significant economic and social security challenges. Therefore, it is imperative that we look to figures like Colonel Bello Fadile as sources of inspiration.
In the face of current challenges, we must encourage the younger generation to emulate such examples of service. Nigeria is at a pivotal point.
His example, according to the Army General, shows that through perseverance, hard work, and the spirit of patriotism, we can navigate these difficult times, pointing out that if young Nigerians can afford similar attitude and an unwavering commitment to service, our country will emerge stronger and more united and more capable of facing future challenges.
Fadile's unwavering commitment, even in the face of trials, is an example of how young people can contribute to nation building.
The book was reviewed by Professor Agbo Madaki, who remarked that the narrative power of the author cannot be ignored, and he was able to capture the interest of his readers through the vivid recollections of events and excellent poetic skill.
The narrative power of the author cannot be ignored, as he's able to capture the interest of his readers through his vivid recollections of events and excellent poetic skill.
According to Professor Madaki, writing an autobiography serves various purposes, including personal, public, therapeutic, and professional benefits. Professor Madaki says, on the personal plane, an autobiography helps with analysis of life experiences, accomplishments, and challenges, leading to self-discovery, pointing out that by so doing, one leaves a personal history of family and future generations. Speaking further on the import of the autobiography, Professor Madaki says it helps share experiences, motivates, and empowers other people to attain their goals. It also offers insight into professions and historical periods. Writing an autobiography, he maintains, relieves stress, releases emotion, and helps in the process of focusing on the present through reflective writing. In writing his memoirs, Colonel Bello Fadile has achieved these objectives.
Writing an autobiography relieves stress, releases emotion, and helps in the process of focusing on the present through reflective writing. In writing his memoir, Bello Fadile has achieved these objectives.
The grand patron of the occasion, former head of state General Ibrahim Babangida, was represented by his daughter Aisha Babangida.
It is both a profound privilege and an honor to stand before you today on behalf of President Ibrahim Babangida, who has entrusted me to convey his thoughts at this significant occasion, the launch of 9 Lives, the Bello Fadile Memoirs. the pages of this book lies a testament to ideas and reflections that have shaped our nation, strengthened our communities, and inspired countless individuals to pursue a path of courage and integrity. The idea of Colonel Fadile's 9 lives can easily be discerned from his professional trajectory, both as a gentleman officer and a lawyer of note. Fadile falls into the category of those who invest time and energy into intellectual excursions to enrich human history and the documentation of same. I am not surprised at Bello's introspection, chronicling his antidote into lucid prose for the sake of humanity. A journey that spans several decades, covering fields of human endeavors. Bello Fadile is one of a kind. Stubborn, stoic, and resilient.
The 2023 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Prince Adewale Adebayo, who presented the book, says for effective protection of democracy in the country, as well as lives and property, Nigeria needs to rebuild its military institutions.
And we need to find a way to have a philosophy of what we to do with our military, because without that, the borders of the country are mere temporary acquisitions. It is the strength of your military, the doctrine and the capacity of your military to defend your territorial integrity that makes your map to be real.
He said the problem of insecurity across Nigeria today can be traced to institutional deficiencies and indiscipline among those who are saddled with the responsibilities of steering the wheel of state.
We have done a quarter of a century now of civilian rule. We discovered that the demons that were chasing us in uniform are also chasing us now in Agbada.
The former presidential candidate, who recommended the book for students of history, announced the immediate purchase of 1,000 copies to be distributed to military schools, formations, and institutions of higher learning across the country.
But I'll buy 1,000 copies of this book so that it can be sent to military formations, military schools, and all of them are building universities now. And should also be sent to Nigerian Bar Association, because we can see that the bar and the military can fuse and produce a fine gentleman, and should be given to all judiciaries and schools. And if they want me to buy 1,000 more after that, I will buy. I will keep buying until there's nobody who says he doesn't have the book.
Barrister Adebayo maintained that most of the historical achievements the country recorded can directly or indirectly be traced to the military, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The politics we couldn't resolve, the military came in 1966. They were needed to resolve all of those. They created all these states we have. In fact, the reason why we have a Federal Capital Territory in Abuja today is because of the military.
In his words, some of the best brains in the country were officers, well-trained as both military personnel and other professional lives, like retired Colonel Bello Fadile, who is wearing 2 caps. He added that today in Nigeria, there are hard questions of national identity and national unity. The military, Prince Adebayo maintains, is the one keeping these two. So it's important we know that we cannot do without the military as a country. The 400-page book chronicles the early life of Colonel Bello Fadile, his service in the Nigerian military, and his close shave with death after his arrests in 1995 during the military rule of late General Sani Abacha. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, who was a special guest of honor, was represented.
These books demonstrate the role Colonel Bello Fadile played and the bravery he demonstrated in the face of adversity. Special thanks to our father and a respected elder statesman, General Sani Abacha,
whose magnanimity and pardon has made this day a joyous one for us all. His contribution to the peace and stability of Nigeria can only be rewarded by God Almighty.
Colonel Bello Fadile's friends and colleagues were on hand to testify to his military acumen, describing him as a worthy Nigerian. They say Colonel Bello Fadile's 9 Lives, the Bello Fadile memoir, is not just a book, it's a gripping account of survival, resilience, and faith.
So this attempt at drawing our attention back to history by Bello Fadile is something that I commend with my whole heart.
Great. It sounds interesting from the cover and could help us put so many things in their proper perspective. I'm sure it will also make good reading to the military, not to view those with different perspective as enemy, in quote. It will make a good reading for students of law and international affairs. Above all, it will help us correct some of the national events and also put some of them in their proper perspective. Bello, well done.
So we are here because we have come to celebrate with our distinguished fellow diamond, Bello Fadile, Doctor of Philosophy in Law. And we say to Bello, congratulations. We all know what you went through because we have stayed in close touch.
But I think the book, I suspect from snippets, that the book will deepen the conversation about the role of the military in civilian life and whether or not the democracy that we have today has delivered the dividends that we expected.
Bello Fadile is a very intelligent man, very bold. One thing I never had anybody mention, which I want to mention now, is that he is the defender of the downtrodden.
I also recommend the book to myself and to all of you to read it. And I hope that when we read the book, Bello's classmates will be well reflected there. All the mischief, all the things they did that they shouldn't have done, hopefully will be revealed in the book. And then we'll learn a lesson from it. And finally, sir, Mr. Chairman, I want to say that you have 2 service chiefs on the high table with you. One has already spoken. The other one hasn't spoken, but I don't know whether himself and Bello also know something in common that the rest of us here don't know. But I hope that in the process we will get to know who knows what and who doesn't know what in the audience here. Bello, you are 9 lives. They pray that it should go to 11 lives. I pray that it will go to the 12th life. And with that, I also want to join those who have spoken before me in wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Bello is said to have lived his 9 lives. Several people have prayed for him to live his 10th, his 11th, and the 12th. I also join them in praying that Bello will live his 12th life. And I'll finally join others in praying for a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year in advance. Thank you and God bless you all.
We've all heard from Colonel Fadile's seniors and contemporaries. I do not belong to any of the categories. And in fact, I have never been in the military. But I'm here to speak as a junior brother to the colonel. And my first meeting with him was at Bonicamp, when he was in charge as head of legal. And ever since that day, all the qualities ably captured by General Babangida's accolade on him, I've seen in him. You can rely on him. If he gives you his words, that is just it. I would just refer to one occasion. I had a big challenge in the course of my practice, and I called him. I said, "Sir, this is my problem." He said, "Okay, come over." I will not mention the particulars of the matter, but he will always give me appointment between 6 and 6:30 a.m. And there was no day I got there, they would tell me he was sleeping. He will be up to receive me. Once he gave me the appointment, he will be there to receive me. And he saw me through the problem. I thank you a lot.
As we should recall, I was governor of Kwara State, 1991. And at that time, Bello was one of my citizens, because that part of what is in Kogi still today was in Kwara State. Bello was a regular visitor and being interested in the development of his state, would sit down and discuss in detail what to do for the benefit of the state in general and its people in particular. As fate would have it, I was posted to the Command and Staff College, Jaji, where I met Bello there as a directing staff. After studying his qualities, a professional military officer, a lawyer, I found somebody who was very intelligent, still intelligent in a way, and somebody I could confide in. From time to time, I'd call him to my office to discuss issues with him. And that relationship continued. When I became Chief of Army Staff, knowing Bello, right from my position as governor and then directing staff, yes, his position as directing staff, and my being his director, I appointed him as my director legal. Unfortunately for both of us, when the 1995 issue started, both of us were put under the radar. They recalled the relationship we had, and what some of them were saying was that if Bello was involved, General Kazil would be there. To start with, that may be why he even appointed him as his director legal, so that in case something would come up, he would defend him or something of that nature. While we agreed, luckily for me, it didn't go to the point of going to Argungu or any place similar to that. Very well done. I'm not surprised at all that he found time to put his experience in a book. Writing a book is not an easy thing. But then if you look at Bello's life, Bello had a purpose in life, and he followed that purpose by selecting what style he would use to achieve what he wanted to achieve. And I think the testimony is there from the appointments he had held, from what he was able to do. Bello knew exactly what his purpose in life was and is.
Colonel Fadile, in my mind, represents the misadventure of a personality who ventured into a regimented system, yet tried to maintain his revolutionary instinct and attempted to assert principle of liberal democracy within a regimented system where alternative opinions are not tolerated. And I think he ran the risk of the story of the cat with 9 lives, which we are gathered here for today. But my take from his book is that he struggled for democratic principle within the period of military interregnum had finally yielded the democracy of 25 years, which we have been celebrating. And I think subsequent speakers had interrogated the fact that the democratic space is receding. And I want to challenge the cream of personalities gathered here today that we need to do something urgently to unbundle the receding democratic space. Otherwise, the struggle of people like Bello Fadile will take us to a next stage where we will have civilians wearing uniform not of my own and will not tolerate alternative opinion, and democracy which he struggled for will be something else.
I take the floor to make a short remark and to say that Bello has been recognized, commended, and acknowledged as a fine gentleman in the army, a lawyer. But I want to say that he has a family background as well, because we are all surrounded by what he did in the military while he was there. Bello is a father, a husband, a brother, an uncle. I'm Ni Fadile, so we are from the family tree, very close member to Colonel Fadile. We call him Brother Tunde in my family. But I just want to say that between Brother Tunde and I, we have a relationship that exceeds just mere brotherhood. We have friendship. And everything that has been said about him, his travels, I bear testimony to it. One, we were colleagues at the ABU, Ahmadu Bello University. We were classmates at the ABU Zaria. We were classmates at the law school, so he's older than me, but we are colleagues at the law. And I know that all his travels from the McPherson House in the Bodilon Junction to his travels in Argungu. In fact, Brother Tunde, as we call him, whilst he's the official resident of the Argungu prison, I was the associate resident, because hardly a month passed by that I did not journey from Kaduna to Argungu to check on his welfare. So I know what he went through personally, and I can attest to the gravity of the solitary life that he lived in Argungu. But having said that, I want to thank the Almighty God, because many a man will not be here when this kind of accord and commendations are read. They are just somewhere in a casket waiting, hearing nothing. But I'm grateful that you are alive and you are a living witness to all the commendations that has been rendered to you. And I pray that all of us will outlive death, not until we are also celebrated in our lifetime. Stubborn, ask me. carefree, ask me. Daring, indeed. Where the angels have dared, he has trod with confidence. But that's the man he's made, and nobody can replicate him or try to copy him. He is who he is. And it has landed him in several troubles. But I do hear when somebody says enough. Now, relax, enjoy the goodness of the Lord, and let your children and grandchildren surround you like olive shoots as the Bible has promised.
The memoir takes readers through the remarkable journey of a man who defied the odds, from surviving a death sentence under General Sani Abacha's regime to carving a legacy as Nigeria's first military-trained lawyer with a PhD in international law. It is a story of bravery, patriotism, and the enduring quest for justice and democracy. Colonel Bello Fadile was the principal actor in the 1996 phantom coup against Abacha. In the book, he chronicles how he was arrested, tried, and sentenced to death in the tragic saga that implicated dozens of prominent Nigerians, including Olusegun Obasanjo, a general and former military head of state, who would later be elected the first president under the current dispensation. His erstwhile deputy Shehu Yaradua, a retired major general who died in Abakaliki prison, and Lawan Gwadabe, a retired brigadier general. Colonel Bello Fadile served his prison sentence at several locations in the country until in Argungu, Kebbi State, when he was eventually pardoned by General Abdul Salami Abubakar. Colonel Fadile's gratitude to the audience, alongside his reflections on his years of service and sacrifice, underscore the essence of true leadership. His memoir serves as both a history lesson and a roadmap for the future, proof that even in the face of adversity, greatness is attainable.
I will now like to extend my gratitude to all those who have spoken and all their comments and everything. Unfortunately, my dear cousin from the center of the universe, which is Kaba, His Eminence John Kajanation, has left, for his prayers always, and for putting my name as number on the list of prisoners of conscience he gave to Pope Paul to give to Abacha during the Papa visit. To my fellow heroes of democracy, this is also an opportunity to relive your experience and free yourself of the burden of history. Should you be moved to give credence to the contents of my memoir, or go far as filling in the gap that I might have unwittingly omitted due to effusions of time, battle fog, or blind spots. Also, on many fronts, this memoir will clarify issues for many and bring to many who have reason to disagree. In some forums, difference of opinion may emerge from discussions around the memo. Nevertheless, what is beyond dispute is that this memo is sure to get all of us talking. And from such dialogue, healing occurs, and we jointly release the sunlight of mutual enlightenment. I am not perfect. My fellow people involved in the enterprise, it's an opportunity for you to speak out, accept my view, or say your view. At this junction, I submit briefly, without repeating the rhetoric and politics that we have had. Everyone has a duty to contribute to the fight for a better future in the country. Thus, let us seek unity, peace, development, and strong institutions through truth, equity, and justice as a nation in all our endeavor. The level of ethnic, religious, and political division in the country makes progress difficult. It is important that elders and leaders, through the instrumentality of public institutions, major civil organizations, take patriotic steps towards mending the fragile fabrics of the nation.
Colonel Bello Fadile's memoir is more than a recount of his trials and triumphs. It is a call to action for a better Nigeria. His life is a beacon of hope, reminding us that resilience, faith, and determination can overcome even the most insurmountable odds. As Nigeria grapples with multifaceted challenges, 9 Lives offers a timely reminder of the transformative power of patriotism and institutional rebuilding. The event echoed a collective aspiration for a more secure, united, and progressive nation.